Alright, so I wanted to go over a recent game I had, and the reason I wanted to go over this game is because a lot of people think that when you're playing Nidalee, you have to make things happen early. You have to be active all around the map, and you have to get 10 kills in 10 minutes, or else you just kind of lose. And this was an interesting game I had where that simply wasn't the case, and the reason why I was able to win this game, even though it was a really slow game, as you can see from the bottom here, there was nothing. First blood didn't happen until 6 minutes, second blood didn't happen until 9:24. So it was a very slow game, and despite it being that slow, I was still a level and a half ahead of their release, and I got objectives on the map even without needing to be a part of every kill and forcing everything on the map. So I wanted to at least talk about my thoughts behind what happened, and just at least also show people that it's not necessary to 1v9 every game and get 10 kills in 10 minutes. But I'll start out by talking about my pathing this game. So I started out by wanting to counter a potential level 3 gank mid or top. So I started bot lane to get a decent leash, and I know I can hit level 4 before Elise is hitting level 3, or sorry, before Elise is ganking at level 3. So I wanted to try and get that done. Nothing ended up happening, really. It was kind of slow, like I said earlier. But one thing I wanted to note is that Talon, after pushing in his first wave, had gotten this ward, and that ward told me that she never took her Raptors. So we knew she started red because the bot lane leashed, but I knew that her Raptors were red. So she either went straight over to blue side, or she did Krug and straight over to blue side. So that gives me a little bit of information. And I come here to contest the first scuttle. Nico tells me that there's vision there, and I see that mid lane is now pushed in, so I immediately ditched the scuttle. I started pathing towards it, and I immediately ditch it, and I wanted to come over to bot scuttle. You can see I pinged Elise here, because it's the only place she can be on the map. And then I wanted to come over to bot scuttle. I see that she still hasn't taken her Raptors. She pops the vision plant, shows us that she's there. And then rather than going for scuttle instantly, I go for her Raptors because I know it's a safer option. She's not going to be down here for a few seconds. And since I know, based on her pathing, that she's level 3 already, she's probably not taken all of her topside camps. She's either left Krugs up or she's finishing her topside camps right now. So Elise finds out I took her Raptors, but there's nothing she can do about it, and she can't contest the scuttle either. So I've already got a little bit of a gold lead on her. As you can tell, the farm difference is 23 to 28, and I still have a scuttle. It's now 23 to 32 at 4 minutes, and nothing happened. First recall, red smite, dark seal, pretty standard. And I just repeat. There's no need for me to be overly aggressive here. I can get all the leads I need just by farming alone. And the only reason we don't have a gold advantage is because Ezreal has Kleptomancy, so he's got a 400 gold lead, or 300 gold lead already. So that's the only reason it's not a hard gold lead. As you can see, I'm already 300 gold ahead of Elise without any action anywhere on the map. So here I inaccurately predict that Elise is at her wolves. She tried to gank bot and got spotted by a ward, and then came back for her Krugs. So that was an inaccurate prediction that she had recalled and gone for her wolves. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because bot lane was actively warding deep, and they did a good job protecting themselves. This is a little funny. I actually cleared so fast that my Krugs hadn't even spawned yet by the time I was back here. And this will almost give me level 6, not quite. So 543 level 6 without a single bit of lane CS is pretty decent. This is nothing revolutionary, it's just 0-0, and we now have a 600 gold lead. Pretty much all of that is from me, just me, because their bot lane is ahead, and then I failed my jump over the wall, but it doesn't matter because Talon got first blood. I was trying to head over to Talon, but he didn't need my help. Top's even, I'm 500 gold ahead, Mid just got first blood, so now he's ahead, and we're already at a 1k gold lead, where it's only been 1 kill. And they have Kleptomancy. Talon is the thing fine here, just burns her flash for no reason. I was walking over to help him if he needs. Now, I'm going to pause for a second because what I do next, I've got Scuttle coming up, I know Elise's red is coming up and my red's coming up. Since bot lane is relatively even. I know Elise isn't going to try and invade me or go for Dragon right now. She has absolutely no priority, and her mid lane is recalled. Our mid lane is recalled. So she knows I'm in the area too. So for her to go for Dragon here would be a waste. So I instead go for topside Scuttle. And by the time I take this, I know that Elise will be gone from bot side. Because she's not going to stay down here and try and gank bot again. I have no reason to suspect she's going to do that. She'd have to lane gank before they're level 6, because they're not going to hit level 6 for another minute or so. So I just quickly take topside. And then now that I know that Elise is leaving her bottom side jungle, I come over here and I take blue buff so that I can take Dragon afterwards. And the enemy team predicts that I'm already on Dragon. So they did quickly predict that, but Elise doesn't respond. So all I have to do is I can get a free Dragon without even the slightest bit of a contest. I look bot again, there's nothing to do here. There's nowhere around the map that I can gank. Talon's constantly pushing in and I don't really want to dive the Cassiopeia. Nico's going even with Gnar, but it's on his side of the map. And they're going even, but it's also on their side of the map more often than not. So it's very hard for me to gank any of these lanes because they have a lot of safe lanes. So again, if I take a look at the gold, I've now got the same 500 gold lead, and it's still been no kills across the map. I've maintained that gold lead even without getting aggressive. We don't see Elise here. She tries to gank Talon. I don't think she succeeds. So nothing happens. I think that I was coming just in case, but... So because Elise is now forced into going for these low percentage plays because she has no camps up, she's not getting... I'm maintaining that lead, and I'm actually getting a bigger lead now because I took red, Krugs, and Raptors in the time she took nothing, pretty much. In the time she went to gank mid. So now I've extended the gold lead. Now I've extended the gold lead even further. That was ambitious. So we now have a 2k gold lead, partially off of Talon's back, partially off of my back, and now Gnar is falling behind as well. Talon solo kills Cass again, and this game's pretty much over because Elise failed her win condition of winning the early game. So by this point, I already have Runic Echoes, which for a 9-minute, 0 kill, 0 assist Nidalee is pretty good. I actually have a bounty just off of gold alone, just off of farm alone. So Root Jolt spawning in 10 seconds, rather than trying to make something happen, forcing them about, which they're recalling. Mids, recalled. Jungler is never going to happen. I'm not going to be able to 1v1 Elise that easily. I need some kind of prio first. I just go for Root Herald. Finish with Herald, Gnar ends up killing. Elise played this as well as she could, but there wasn't really much she could do in this case, so she just kind of dies. I've now got my Rift Herald I recall for, I believe, a Sheen now. Let's see. Yeah, I pick up a Sheen on the way out. And now I've got a 1200 gold lead with 1 kill and assist. And like I said earlier, this game's pretty much already over. But what happens next just kind of put the nail in the coffin if it wasn't there already. Talon solo kills Cassiopeia again. And so I just pop Herald mid. And now Cass is getting flamed by her team, but we pop Herald mid, and we get a 5-plate turret first blood. We get a 5-plate turret first blood, and at this point, Talon and I can now do whatever we want. We have complete control of the map, and as you can see, we both know this. We both take this control, and we both head topside. We don't end up killing Gnar here, as you can see, but we do get complete control of the top side of the jungle. And at 12 minutes, with only 5 kills, we're already 5k gold ahead, just off of outpathing the enemy Elise, and Talon did very well in his matchup. He's actually a huge amount of gold ahead. But Talon did very well, but like I said before, in conclusion, like this is what I wanted to show for all the people who think that Nidalee needs to be 10 kills in 10 minutes. needs to 1v9 carry. It doesn't have to be like that. You can play the farm game, get objectives when the enemy jungler is incapable of contesting them, because you farm so much faster than them that it's oftentimes an easier option. It might not look as cool, it might not feel as good just to be like, yeah, I'm 2k gold ahead off of farming, and because I took a turret with Rift Herald that I took earlier, but we have an Infernal Drake, and we have all of these things that Elise's team doesn't, because Elise didn't Elise wasn't able to keep up with me, and all I did was farm. All I did was walk around the map. I took a couple of her camps, like her Raptor camp early. I walked around the map, got Skull Crabs, ended up getting Dragon. It's pretty simple, but for those of you, who don't know much about me, you can always ask me any questions on the Nidalee main subreddit or Discord. But thank you guys for checking out the video. If you're still around, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I explained a little bit about my thought process for this game, because it wasn't anything flashy. It was just, but it got the job done, and that was all that mattered.